Good evening, students. Today I am taking biology instead of mathematics class. In our last class, we finished the sense organ eye. Then today we have to learn about the sense organ ear. The ear is the sense organ that help us to sense two uh, senses that are for hearing and for balance. You know that we use ears for hearing, that we learn from the lower classes, but how the ear help us to keep our body balance also learn in the lesson, as well as the structure of the ear, the mechanism of hearing, everything we learn in this lesson. Here let us see the three main parts of the human ear. That are the three main parts are there. We can divide it into outer ear, middle ear and inner ear are the three main parts of the human ear. Then the outer ear consists of the projecting part known as the pinna. Pinna, you can see the outer part of the ear that we can see, that is the ear pinna. Its only function is to collect the voices or the collect the sound waves. That is the only purpose of this pinna, and it also protect the ear from the falling of the rainwater or perspiration. That auditory canal is also protected by the pinna. Its main function, if you ask to write the main function of the ear pinna, is to collect the sound waves. That is the pinna. Then you can see the auditory canal. That is the canal. You can see a hollow. A canal is, you observe the eye, you can see a canal. That canal is known as the auditory canal. Auditory canal for the hearing. The sound waves are going into the ear through this auditory canal. That opening you can see if you look out, and there is the canal, that is the auditory canal, and that will reach up to the eardrum. Eardrum, you can compare this equal to the drum. Ear drum, you can see the red colored structure. The sound waves are collected by the pinna, and the sound waves are going through the auditory canal, and finally it reaches to the eardrum. That is the outermost part of the ear. That are the outer ear include these three parts. Sometimes question may be asked like that, which are the parts of the outer ear. That is pinna, auditory canal and up to eardrum. These three parts are the parts of the outer ear. Then again the second part, you see the middle ear. The middle ear contain three tiny bones. These three tiny bones together, they are known as the ear ossicles. That ear ossicles, that three bones together, its name is known as ear ossicle. Then each of these bones have a particular name, that are malleus, incus, stapes. They are its scientific name, that are the malleus, incus and stapes. Then hammer, anvil and stirrup, another name known as the stirrup. You can see the spelling stirrup, are the three bones of the ear ossicle. Then that three bones and stapes, hammer, anvil and stirrup, they are according to its shape it got that name. Hammer meaning നമ്മൾ ഗദ എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുന്ന അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു ഷേപ്പാണ് ഹാമർ എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ. ചുറ്റിക എന്നർത്ഥമാണ്, പക്ഷേ സാധാരണ ചുറ്റികയുടെ ഒരു ഷേപ്പല്ല. ഹാമർ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഇവിടെ ഒരു ഗദയുടെ ഷേപ്പാണ്. അപ്പം നോക്കുക, ഹാമർ, ആൻവിൽ ആൻഡ് സ്റ്റിറപ്പ് ആർ this name is its common name. Malleus incus stapes. If you have to write the name 3-ear ossicle in that the question, if the question is asked like that, you can write Malleus incus stape. Hammer, anvil, you need not to write. That are the common name usually used. You should write Malleus incus stape. Then the 3 ear bones together known as dash, that are the ear ossicle. We call it as ear ossicle. Then stirrup, in popular terms it is used like that. Then you can see a eustachian tube here. That is the tube that is connecting to the throat. Its function is to keep the air pressure on either side of the eardrum. You can see the eardrum. It has opening towards outside. To the outside air, it has the contact. So sometimes we may feel problem on ear ossicle if we fly in aircraft, or in such cases when we take the flight. At that time, sometimes we may feel pain because of the difference in the air pressure. Suddenly the air pressure may decrease when the flight take off. At that time, the eardrum we may feel difficulty because the pressure of the air may vary. At that time, if we yawn or open our mouth, the ear balance on either side can be kept the same by the help of this eustachian tube. You can see the eustachian tube. It is the opening towards the throat. What is the function of the eustachian tube? It can keep the air pressure on either side of the eardrum. That is the function of the eustachian tube. Then these 3 bones collectively called the ear ossicles. You can see the ear ossicle. So these 3 parts, the 3 ear ossicle and eustachian tube together, we call it as the middle ear. Which are the parts of the middle ear? 3 small bones, that are the ear ossicle and the eustachian tube, together make the middle ear. Then again you can see that 3 bones, malleus, the green colored, it is marked here, it has green, the malleus, incus in the middle you can see, and in blue color the last bone is the stirrup, malleus incus stape. That stirrup, its common name is used here. Anvil, here you can see the 3 bones are connected like a chain and it is touching the inner ear. You can see the inner ear that has certain parts. The inner ear, another name is membranous labyrinth. Membranous labyrinth. That to the last bone, that stirrup, you can see it is touching the inner ear. How it touch? Here you can see each one. Hammer, anvil and stirrup. The last bone you can see it is touching the inner ear. That portion is known as the oval window. An oval shaped part you can see that has a base like a portion for the last bone, and it is touching the inner ear by the part known as the oval window. Then another portion is also there in the another window, round window is also there. In the oval window region, it is touching the inner ear. That is how the ear ossicle, it is the middle ear is shown here in the picture. Middle ear, 3 ear ossicles and the eustachian tube together make the middle ear. You can see. Then again in the structure, you can see the ear. Here you can see its structure, how you can draw it. The sound waves are coming, it is touching the eardrum and can make vibrations. Then three bones that act like a chain because of its movement. You know that ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ ഒരു അയയിലൊക്കെ പിടിച്ച് നമ്മൾ അനക്കുവാണ്. ഇഫ് യു shake one end of a chain, that waves will be larger up to the end. So it can amplify that movement, or the vibrations can be amplified by the three ear ossicles because it is attached like a chain. So its vibrations will be amplified by these three bones. So you can see that it is touching the oval window, and that opening, it is leading to the inner ear. Then a round window is also covered by a thin membrane. In that region, that inner ear that has thin membrane at the region of oval window and round window. So it is connecting to the inner ear. You must able to answer which are the parts of the outer ear, the middle ear. Then we have to learn about the inner ear. It has also three main parts. One is known as the cochlea. Cochlea, it is a snail-like region. You can see certain tube-like, snail-like appearance. It's shell of the snail. You might have observed it. So such a structure you can see. That part is known as the cochlea. Then again you can see three semicircular canals. You can see here three semicircular canal. They are right angle to each other, and they place themselves in three different angles. They are the semicircular canal. They each one of it that is in 90 degree to each other. Then its base, one of its base is you can see it is another a bulge appearance at its end. That part is known as the ampulla. This is the semicircular canal. Inner ear, its part are the snail-like region, the cochlea, and three semicircular canal, and three a stem-like region. You can see the saccules and utriculus are the two stem-like region. The lower region, that is the saccule and utriculus. Together this region is known as vestibule. These saccules and utriculus together we call it as vestibule. Then here again you can see these are the regions for keeping the balance of the body. The semicircular canal that help to sense the dynamic balance of the body. Dynamic meaning when a person move, that is moving is the dynamic. Word dynamic mean when a person move, that at the time of movement certain liquids are present filling all these region in the cochlea, utriculus saccule, and this semicircular canal. All the inner ear part that is filled with a liquid known as endolymph. Endolymph എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ലിക്വിഡ് ഇതിനകത്ത് ഫില്ല് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. Certain vibrations will be there inside this liquid. So the semicircular canal, it can sense that vibrations at the dynamic balance. When a person move, the movement of the liquid in the semicircular canal, that is sensed out by certain sensory nerve cells are there for it, for sensing the balance of the body. Then utriculus and saccule, that region is helping to identify that when a person is not moving, that is the static balance of the body. You can see the dynamic balance and the static balance of the body, that is sensed by this utriculus and saccule. All these regions are filled with a liquid, and certain small calcium carbonate small crystals are present inside it. When the person move, that crystals known as the otoliths, that word is not present here, that otoliths, small calcium crystals that may move, and the sensory cell inside this region that will that sensory cells can sense how the movement occur, and that part will be that sensations will be sent to the brain through two canals that are you can see the auditory canal, the sense of the hearing, that vibrations when sound wave come and hit the eardrum, then that three ear ossicles that can amplify that vibrations, then through the oval window region that vibrations will reach inside the liquid, and you can see in the figure B, you can see that cochlea, inside the cochlea three separate chambers are there. Here three separate chambers are there. Here you can see in the middle chamber basilar membrane. Here the sensory cells are there. That sensory cells are, that part is known as the organ of Corti. That is sensory hair like cells are there that can catch the vibrations of the sound waves, and it pass it through the auditory canal. You can see the auditory canal here. Then the auditory canal is conducting that message to the brain. With that time, the balance, the sensation of the balance or also catched by these nerves from the semicircular canal and the vestibular region, all are together collected, and that will be conducted to the brain. Then these three canal, here you can see the three chambers in this cochlea region. That region, the one and here 1, 2, 3, the median canal is filled with endolymph. That liquid is known as the endolymph. The other two with perilymph. Then the sensory cell lie in the basilar membrane. That membrane sensory cells for catching the sensation of hearing, that lie in the basilar membrane. That is how the ear work. I think you understood how that part